Hey guys, welcome back to another video. This is episode 1 of Table for Wong, and we're here with
James Curtis.
and today we are going to be discussing controversial topics within dating. So let's get started with question number 1. Okay, question number 1 is, who cares more about looks in a romantic relationship? What do you think?
I think women for sure care more about looks in a romantic relationship.
And why is that?
Like, I think guys will like pretend like they care, like, oh, that girl's so hot, or this, that, and the other. But like, really, like, if a girl's like just genuinely nice to a guy, then a lot of the guys just like stop caring, you know?
Okay, so why do we think that more guys are trying to, like, whenever guys are looking at girls, they're like, oh my god, she's cute, oh my god, this and that. Like, why do they do that?
I mean, I think that like guys, maybe it's like a social thing. It's just like more open. Like guys are just more open about it and straightforward, whereas like girls aren't as straightforward, but like they care like way more, like 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 50 to 100% more. They care, I think.
Okay, well, since we do have two opposite genders, I think that girls do actually care. Personally, I think that whenever there's a good guy, they whenever there's a good guy that knows what he wants in a good girl, if you know what I mean, they're actually going to look far more beyond the looks. But in general, I think guys care more. Cause like guys are always they're always like, she has to look this, she has to look that, but the only way that it doesn't matter is if she has so many other traits that like benefit over the looks. You know what I mean? Cause like listen.
Mm-hmm.
There's this one thing that guys say a lot, which there's also two sides to it. Guys go like, oh, whenever I come home from work, I just want to see my lady very beautiful and smiling. There's that, that's a beautiful thing, and I get that they want their wife or something to look pretty, but also at the same time they want them to look happy. But like, why is it? Why are they so like focused on the looks?
I think that right in imagination land, guys care more about looks. But like when actually
In
like
reality,
the wheels hit the road, right? Like in reality, like when guys are getting to know girls, they'll be like, oh, okay, like they don't even think about the looks so much. Like, oh, okay, you know what? They'll find a reason to think she's attractive.
I understand
where a girl
that,
will not like. I mean, like unless the guy is like super funny or like he's super charismatic, the girl's not gonna find a reason to find the guy attractive. Where it's like the guys, because let's be honest here, guys need women, like men need women more than women need men. Like men have a much greater need to be in a relationship than a woman has a need to be in a relationship with a guy, making women pickier. And they should be pickier, right? Because like, okay, they're going to be pregnant for 9 months and they're going to have kids with this guy and this guy has to like protect them. And like, they're more, they get sick more easily, right? So they should be pickier. So it's not a bad thing to be picky. And so, but yeah, I just think it naturally, a woman's going to care more about the guy's look. She's going to have a higher standard in reality, maybe not mentally or maybe not as they're talking about it, but like in reality. They'll never admit to it though.
Women will never admit to it? Or
well, because they don't know. It's not something that because it's not something they cognitively, consciously, actively think about.
So, okay, I guess so. I think it really like there's like, there's people who are liberals and people who are conservatives, right?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I think lots of conservative women and men disregard, or not like disregard, but they don't really care about the looks.
I don't know. I would consider myself more on the conservative side than liberal, and I definitely care about looks.
Okay, well,
that's not the only thing I care about.
yeah, but like for me personally, I'm also more on the conservative side. Like, I don't personally care about looks. I believe that's something that if you think that your man can do some grooming, like you can have an open conversation about that and it can be fixed. Like, it's just like an outside factor that doesn't really matter. So that's what I think as a female.
Yeah, so you're talking about more like hygiene, taking care of yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So I'm not talking about that. Like I have a type, you know?
Okay, so just like
this
their genetical features.
Genetic features. And maybe gym features, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's valid. That's valid.
And so like I definitely have a type, and it's like if you're not that type, I'm probably not gonna like approach you to talk to you. That can be overridden if like I'm getting to know a girl's friends and she's just got an amazing personality, but not just that, like we feel like a genuine emotional mental connection, like she's intelligent, she's witty, right? We can actually understand each other.
Yeah.
I think being understood is the most attractive thing.
100%.
And there's a baseline, right? So if you're not, I don't know, at a certain like, if you're like, okay, you're like attractive, but it's like, okay, you're not my type, I wouldn't go for it. Other thing is for me, like I'm saving myself for marriage. Like, so I'm saving my first kiss for marriage. Yeah. So it's like, I'm only going to ever be with one person. I think a lot of guys are less picky because they'll just sleep with as many women as they want. They don't really care. And a lot of girls, the same thing. It's like, they'll sleep with, whoever. They're not thinking, oh, this has to be, I have to make the right choice on this one.
This is a good question. Do you think men or women sleep more with the opposite gender?
Depends on the man and depends on the women. So not 10% of the guys get 90% of the girls. So in general, women more, but it's like if you pick like the top men versus like actually just women, yeah, because you pick women who are sleeping around versus guys who are sleeping around, they'll probably sleep around like if they're like high level, like not high level, but like actively in that lifestyle, they probably sleep the same amount. But then you go to the baseline women versus the baseline men, for sure girls are getting like sleeping around more than the average guy because the average guy can't really get a girl.
Okay, but when we say sleeping around, I mean just sleeping around to fuck and not with like emotional attachment. Because even though girls are more able to get the guys and have them sleep around, the guys are the one that specifically want that physical touch, whereas girls more want that emotional connection between guys. Do you know what I mean?
What's the question exactly?
The question is without the emotional attachment. Because I think whenever girls are sleeping around with guys, majority of them have an emotional attachment with that guy.
I don't think it's possible to sleep or like have sex with somebody without emotional attachment. I don't think that exists. Like physically, your body's gonna make an emotional attachment.
Do you think that's true even with men?
Yeah, I do. Okay. I think it's probably. I think the science says it's slightly less strong with men, but it's yeah, there's still an emotional connection. I don't care who you are.
Okay, I think you're just like a good guy. I think there are definitely guys out there who have no emotional connection and they just want to sleep with a girl for the frick of it.
Sure, that could be the intention, but then when the actual deed is done, like I guess if you've been with so many people, you just get numb to it. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a difficult topic for sure. So, do you believe in leagues within dating?
What do you think?
What do I think?
Yeah.
I think there's not really. I think there's like out of leagues, there's always somebody. Wait, when we say leagues, are we talking about like status or are we talking about looks?
Both. Sure. Let's go both.
Both?
Yeah.
Okay, then I don't believe in leagues. I think there's something that you can learn from everyone. I think that, like, as I previously said, looks don't really matter. I mean, like, to a certain extent, because I think looks matter when it's connected to hygiene and how you present yourself and care for yourself and stuff like that. But in general, to me, leagues don't matter. Like, they don't make sense. Like, whenever someone says, oh, he or she is out of your league, I don't think that makes sense because how are you just judging somebody based on their look or their status? Because I think there's always something to learn from someone else.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think people who believe in leagues are just straight up insecure because I've seen all sorts of people who people consider out of somebody's league with people that are out of their league. Like the very concept that leagues exist invalidates itself because you always see people, oh man, she's out of his league. How are they together? Or he's out of her league. How are they together? It's like, yeah, because leagues don't exist, like you peasant minded. No, I'm sorry. Anyways, like,
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so
um,
like leagues aren't really like a thing, I feel like. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
but I
Yeah.
do think like in terms of like financial right or status, it's like okay, let's say people I want to go to med school, right? People in med school tend to marry and date other med students or other people in the medical field.
Yeah,
And they're
yeah.
already, everybody's kind of doing well in the medical field, right?
Mhm.
Fun fact 20% of GDP is on uh, medical related expenses.
Mhm.
um, so I think it's just more of a proximity thing than it is like uh, you know, oh this I can't get with this person or this person's out of league or they're too good for
Yeah.
me.
So do you think it's more like, cuz I know whenever I dated somebody it's mostly within like, oh, this person likes something that I'm doing, like a hobby kind of communication, that's how we connected. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, usually, I mean that's where most people meet others is they're already doing something,
Mhm.
and
Yeah, like
whether it's
yeah, yeah,
school,
yeah,
we're
yeah.
all UCR students,
Yeah.
whether it's the gym, whether it's whatever it may be, the
Mhm.
church, you're already
Exactly.
doing a
100%.
similar thing.
Okay. Do you believe that men need to be rich in dating?
Bro, actually, this is like makes me so upset. Like this topic because like there's like the whole like red pill manosphere, which I half agree with, half don't. It's like okay, like, girls only like guys for their money, and it's like well maybe the types of girls like these guys are trying to get are these functions, right?
Okay.
Um, or like a guy needs to have his house and all of his money, and he needs to be completely put together, and this, that, and the other. He can't be overweight. You got to have a six pack and all. It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
bro,
yeah.
I've seen so many like women, like very attractive women with like broke dudes. like
Yeah,
you just
yeah.
gotta get game. Like at the end of the day, like it's not about your money. Like you just gotta get game. And most people don't shoot enough shots. Like yeah, if
Yeah,
you're like
yeah.
if
I
you're
feel
like
like
yeah
lots of men are very shy, you
yeah.
know? Yeah.
And so like maybe if you're like 6'4" and like just built like a Greek god and your jawline is just chiseled like Mount Rushmore, like yeah, you don't have to do very much, but like I think a lot of guys would be surprised, like if they started shooting more shots, like how many go through.
100%. Yeah, cuz I believe that shoot your shot. If you miss, like you can take another shot. It doesn't really matter. Um but so essentially you don't think they need to be rich.
Heck no, I think they should have something going for themselves, but I think most women just care about how you make them feel. Like I think most women they just care like if you're a kind
Catching
person,
on.
do you pay
Okay,
attention to
period.
them?
Okay, look at that.
And the thing is, the girls that like care, like, oh, he has to be making 100 grand a year. It's like you don't want those women anyways, bro. Like those are not like wives. That's not somebody you want to marry. That's not somebody you want to like raise your kids with.
Yeah, don't marry a gold digger.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's wrong to want a man. If you want to be a stay-at-home mom, obviously you're gonna have to like marry somebody who's like making some good
Yeah,
money.
it has to be, there has to be a balance essentially, like with the traditional housewife and the man that goes to work. There's definitely a balance within there because we have the girl that's taking care of the family, like cleaning, cooking, whatever, and then the dad who's like the strong like roots underneath all of that.
Yeah,
That's a
but
good comparison. Like the lady's like the little flower on the tree, and then the guy's like the roots and stuff like that. Oh yeah, but from a female perspective, I definitely know that there are a bunch of girls out there. Just warning the men out there. There are a bunch of girls who are solely there to use you for your money, because they either went through something traumatic or they're just very materialistic. I know that lots of women in the past they have been through like traumatic relationships like over and over again. I don't know if it's a personal issue they had or something with another guy, but they have gone through it so much that at a point they're just like, okay, I'm gonna find this 80-year-old white rich man and he's gonna take care of me, and that's how they live. But essentially at the end of the day, like a good woman, as James was saying, is not gonna care about the money that you have, but she's definitely going to care about your drive, your hard work, what you're going towards, seeing the action that you put in.
That's what I'm talking about. Like
Period.
it's about like direction, not perfection, right? It's
Exactly. I love that.
where are you going? How do you make them feel? And honestly, as long as you make them feel good, like you punch them in the face and they'll still be with you. Domestic abuse is the number one crime in America. Like
Oh my god.
she'll fight the police for you. You know what I'm saying? That's how the most amount of police die.
Okay, I don't know about all that. Punching me in the face, I would get pissed. But I know if that
I
were
don't know
to
about you. What I'm saying is women in general, once you reel them in, like
reel them in,
yeah, like once they fall for you, like you could be broke on the streets, hit them, and they'll just stay with you because they love you. Which I don't agree with. I think they should cut those ties off. But there's just something about the love of a woman. It's just like very very strong. So if you're a man out there, don't take advantage of women.
yeah, and I think also that like within a marriage, like when you start to marry your partner and know like, okay, they're the one, even if my man were to hit me or something, I would try to fix him, honestly. Like not I'm being so for real. Like I know he's not I know he's listen, I know he's not hitting me for no reason. Okay? Is that bad?
No, listen, I'm not saying if it's bad or good. I'm just
Okay,
saying
he thinks it's bad.
no.
But there's
I'm
like
not saying it's bad or good. I'm just saying it is what it is. Men out there, take this as a sign. You don't need to be rich. You don't even need to be a good person. You just need to be good enough, make them feel good. Now, I'm not. I'm not encouraging that. Like everybody needs to submit to the Lord Jesus, but if you don't, you can get a woman. You just like don't blame it on not being rich or the manosphere or like people
yeah,
saying
exactly.
like,
Like
oh, red pill, like, oh, unless you're this status and this, no one's gonna
yeah,
want
you
you. It's
don't
just
need no
not true.
6 pack, you don't need no 6 figure business, whatever.
No.
But no, but like what I was saying, like if my man does something wrong that pisses me off genuinely, I'm gonna hear him out. I'm gonna try and teach him like that's not okay. Like I wouldn't just immediately leave him or like report him to the cops or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you think that's not okay? What?
No, I mean, God bless. This is why domestic abuse is the number one crime in America.
Okay, I think like there's like a line that's driven. Okay, there's definitely a line that is
Oh,
driven.
there's definitely a line for sure. And where it's at, who knows? But there's a line.
That's true. That's true. Like sometimes it's just like there won't be enough, but
Maybe like a really long line. Really long. Oh my goodness gracious. We're gonna get in trouble. We're gonna get kicked
so
out of school.
this is our disagreement then.
I don't it's
Basically.
I mean
But
think
literally just said, "Oh, if you punch her in the face, she's going to yell at the cops and protect you." Which is the same thing.
That's real because that actually happens. Like domestic abuse calls are so dangerous for police because the police will try to arrest the guy and then the girl will attack the police officer, and a lot of police die like that. And
Yeah.
so it's kind of like, listen, I don't think any abuse should be tolerated. I think the first sign, the first trigger, the bruise, break up immediately, right? I think if it's a boyfriend girlfriend relationship, I think if it's a marriage, it's a little different. But definitely like separate immediately because it's unacceptable. And I grew up around all women, and I have like
Yeah.
all sisters, mom, right? And if anybody would even like speak to them incorrectly, let alone like touch them inappropriately, hit them, no, I wouldn't. That's a red flag. I think certain things you got to chop off immediately. You can't let that fester. You can't try to fix or change somebody. It's like if no, you gotta like, and honestly, like that might be the only way they learn when they lose something.
Okay, but what if it's the first time? Would you give them a second chance or no? Because like think
Are you talking
about
about if a woman hit me?
no, like if you were the woman and there was like if you were me and somebody hit me or something like that, would you give them a second chance? Because they have done so many other things that are positive. So why should one negative like cut everything off? Like shouldn't you give him the chance to listen? Like why did you do that?
Okay, let me ask you something.
Okay.
Say you have kids with your man, right?
Okay.
Best father ever.
Okay.
Comes home, takes care of the kids, massages, does the dishes, makes you dinner,
Okay.
vacuums, puts some good anime on for
Okay,
you,
okay.
right? Does this every year. Then, a couple years pass. One of your kids says something disrespectful to your husband. Your husband
Okay.
murders your kid. You gonna give him a second chance?
No. That's different. That's completely different because that's part of our family that we raised together.
What
But
I'm
like,
saying is there is a line of where you don't get a second chance, right? Let's take the court of law. Okay, you jaywalk. Well, it's legal in California.
I
It's legal.
also think that if it ever comes to a point of like murdering a kid, it's far deeper than that. You know what I mean? It doesn't just like happen. There's going to be things that build up to it
So
that are
let's
already
say
going to be
assault,
prevented.
like sexual assault. Is that you get a second chance? At what point do you not get a second chance? Because there's something somebody could do. Like, what's the line? For me, no. You. Honestly, I mean, I think a dude yells at a woman. They need to like the woman should cut it off. But definitely touches inappropriately in any way, shape, or form. I think you cut it off, no second chance. Because ultimately, I think if you care about that person, you want them to learn, and the best way to learn, man, you touch fire, you get burned. You gonna learn to not touch that stove again.
Okay. I think you have very valid points.
Thanks,
But
Nausicaa.
I don't know. I'm like a very big, like, people can call me naive, whatever, but I'm a very big lover that might get myself into trouble. You can see his face. He's like, oh, I don't know. You gotta
I'm
be
just
careful.
worried about you. That's all.
It's okay. This is my friend. He's gonna protect me.
I will protect her, but like,
yeah.
I'm also like, domestic violence is I'm not around all the time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It only takes 2
But
inches to get to the blood
I
vessel.
can definitely, like, I think I personally know, like, how much I can take.
Got it. Bro, but what if a woman hit me? I'm trying to think, like, what would I do? Like, if I was in love with a girl and she hit me,
Okay, so what do you think?
I don't know. I can't even imagine a woman even like. I mean, I can imagine a woman trying to hit me, but like not somebody I cared about. Like I can't. I don't even
Exactly.
like. But the thing is, domestic violence is super prevalent. But like, I get honestly, if a woman hit me, I probably just laugh. I probably just laugh because like
He's unreal. He's
that's like if a spider bit me. Like I'm not gonna be mad at the spider. Like a spider do what a spider do type vibe. I would probably reevaluate if this is the person that should raise my kids. Though I would reevaluate. I was like, if the mother,
this is the man that provides for my family.
yeah, and if the mother of my children has a proponent to violence and that much lack of self-control and lack of anger, she might hit me. But when she hits my kids, like she hits my kids, I might have to throw hands. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. Like, so exactly, there's like a fine line between that because like I was on a podcast a few days ago, and there was this lady who was like, I don't think a woman or a man should do husband or wife things when they're in a boyfriend girlfriend relationship.
I agree.
But to me, I don't agree on that because like when she
what
said,
do you define as husband wife things?
okay, yeah, I would love to talk about this. But she was saying like she shouldn't cook for him, shouldn't fold his laundry at the boyfriend girlfriend stage. Do you agree with that?
No, the thing is, cook.
Benefits.
Like I cook for people. I cook for my friends. So I do cook for my friends, and like my friends have stayed over my place, and I've done laundry and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I don't consider that if I would do it for a friend, I would do it for my boyfriend girlfriend. I honestly
exactly
don't really believe in boyfriend girlfriend though, so that's just me. Like you're either the woman I'm pursuing in marriage, or pursuing to get married to, or we're friends.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, yeah, I agree with that too because like I was thinking about it and I was like, but I cook for my friends. You know what I mean? Like, so why should that be a difference? But personally, for me, where I draw the line of like husband or wife things is when you actually have a child with that man or with that woman. That's when you start raising a family, and that's the title of wife. You know how you take care of a household because a man and a woman both have different duties within that. What do you think?
What's the question exactly?
Not any question, but like, what do you think about the line? Like, being a wife, being a husband is when you have a kid together and you raise them.
Well, I mean, I think being a wife, being a husband is like when there's, you know, a marriage, right? So there's proposal, and then
Yeah, but
you
like
get married. I was saying what's acceptable to do not in a husband wife, like as boyfriend and girlfriend. Like, what's the line?
what's the upgrade, I guess you can say.
I mean, in terms of, I mean, for me, like I get to kiss them, so
Okay.
that's me.
Okay, yeah,
Like,
because it's because you
because I'm, yeah, as I said,
you
I'm
want to
not.
just marry her.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm saving my first kiss until my wedding day,
Yeah.
right? Until I say I do.
Yeah.
So that's I'm like on like the way other side of the spectrum of like, if I do it for a friend. Long story short, if I do it with a friend, then it's fine in boyfriend girlfriend. Because like for me, I live my life based on the Bible, and the Bible says treat older women as mothers and treat younger women with all purity as you would your own sister.
Yeah.
So it's like that's my mindset of like how I want to treat somebody. If I'm dating, there's no official commitment there because anybody could just up and leave, and there's no consequence.
Yeah, yeah.
Marriage, you can't just up and leave.
Yeah.
At least in my faith, how I plan to be married, right, based on like the Bible.
So you don't want to date, you just want to marry someone.
Yeah, I mean,
or like you want to see how a person is, and then just marry them.
Obviously,
but not call it like. Sorry, I keep cutting you off.
No, please.
But not call it like a girlfriend or a boyfriend thing.
So as I said, titles are weird, right? Because as humans, we like to create different words, different languages. Different people have different meanings for different things, right?
Yeah.
And so the idea of dating, I guess, is something I would do, in a sense of like, yeah, like exclusive, purposeful, intentional, getting to know somebody, seeing, if we're physically, not really physically, seeing if we're like emotionally, spiritually compatible.
Yeah.
Going on dates and things like that.
Yeah.
Of course, the title of boyfriend girlfriend, I wouldn't be necessarily against using it just for simplicity's sake, because like, oh, how are you guys? What's your guys' relationship?
Okay.
But for my mindset, and probably what I would tell people is this is the woman I'm pursuing in marriage.
Yeah. I completely agree. I agree with you. Yeah, that's the same perspective that I'm having. So like, I guess in other words, that's when people say like, are you dating for fun or dating for marriage? It's like you have the idea of, so it's basically dating in marriage.
Yeah, but until
like you want to marry them. That's your main purpose. You're not just like, dating around for fun. Like, who cares about this?
But until like I say I do, like those rings on the finger, I do in front of God, a crowd of witnesses, and the government, right?
Yeah.
We are sticking to hand holding.
Yeah.
Okay. And we're not living together. So like, I think that line is like living together, anything, kissing or beyond. That's for me. Like, so before that, like, okay, if you want to do laundry, you want to cook for each other, that's fine. That's
yeah.
If I would do it for my sister, I would do it. But if I wouldn't do it with like my own sister, I probably wouldn't do it.
Okay, but what about sleepovers? Sleepovers are fine, but different bed.
Heck, well, is it the same room in the house? Is it the same room?
I mean, you sleepovers with your friends, right?
I can't remember. I've never done a sleepover with a female friend.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
That doesn't really. So no, I don't sleep over with my female friends. So no sleepovers. That's too much temptation, bro. Like, there's something's gonna happen. Like, there's just no like. Nah, no sleepovers.
This guy has control. That's good.
I don't have control. That's why we're not doing sleepovers.
Well, he has a self-awareness. Same thing.
Yeah, you only have so much willpower, so you make decisions and you put in plans in your life and habits in place so that you don't have to use your willpower.
You're right. That they're gonna like you. They're gonna like you. Any good Christian girls? He's single. He's ready to mingle. He's a good guy. I know him. Can guys and girls be just friends?
Yeah, definitely. I have girls that are just friends. But there just can't be any like attraction there.
Yeah, exactly. Like we're friends.
Yeah. Either that or there's got to be like such a high mental blockage. Like, there maybe could be attraction, but there's got to be such a high mental blockage of like, for somebody's like so convicted this will never happen. But like, if there's attraction there, I think if you spending a lot of time together, like you can't just be friends.
Yeah, I think for girls this is definitely easier because we don't really have that, like, our physical attraction to a guy does not really spike up. I know, at least for me, and I can speak for at least like half the girls on this planet. At least half of the girls on this planet. Like, we like, well, this is a very common topic to talk about. Like, oh, like whenever the boyfriend's always saying like, oh, your guy friends just want to like get in your pants or whatever, like
That's
after I
true.
leave
That's
or
true.
whatever.
That's 100% true.
Yeah, exactly. But I think
Well, most guy friends would just want to get in your
most
pants.
guy friends, and it's also like your woman, whatever girl that is there, she needs to know how to read the room, read the guy, and she also needs to know like, okay, like what am I okay with, and what is he okay with, and what is my boyfriend okay with, essentially. So it's like, yeah. And also I feel like whenever there is a guy friend before you get into a relationship, what do you think about that? Like, do you think they're still trying to do something or whatever? I don't really think so. I'm so sorry, I keep cutting you off.
No, you're not cutting me off. I was thinking. You're good.
Yeah.
I think the vast majority of men that are friends with women are just trying to get with that girl. Like but I also think the vast majority of men are pansies, and they just don't know how to send it.
Like, talk to a girl.
Yeah.
Or like how to confess
or they're
to
afraid to lose a relationship.
Yeah.
They're just too afraid. I think most guys are just pansies. So I think most women, or most guys, given the chance, would get with their female friends. They're just cowards. I think they're just cowards. So they don't pull the trigger.
Yeah, I think so too. I think lots of guys, like, they're just too afraid to say it, too afraid to get rejected or whatever.
Yeah.
But
so I think.
But for girls, like, sometimes this has happened to me in the past. Like, people have told me like, that guy is not good. Like, he just wants to use you or whatever. Like, I completely did not know until I was like, I broke up with my boyfriend or whatever, and then that guy, like, that friend starts being so like, oh my god, it's like okay or whatever, and then start like, you know, like the typical stuff. Like, come on, we're all older here. We've been through this. We know this. But like, at the same time, I definitely do believe that guys and girls can be friends. There has to be like a stronger part on the males for sure. I feel like, in a respectful way. But girls as well, like, you gotta control yourselves. You gotta, like, don't milk no man at all. Like,
you said don't what?
Milk.
Don't milk mailman? What?
Don't milk no man. Like, don't use them. Is that the wrong context? Is that the wrong I'm just a little. Oh my god.
What?
Is this the wrong context?
I've never heard that before. I've just never heard "don't milk no man." Like, I've never.
I'm the only one that says it. I might be saying it wrong. I think I got called out once for saying milk wrong.
Listen.
I mean, like,
I'm not up to date on all the trends.
I've never heard anyone say it. I just, like, it makes sense to me. What I'm trying to say is, like, don't have a roster. Don't have, like, okay, this guy is gonna buy me a car. This guy is gonna pay my rent. This guy is going to support my emotional needs, my physical needs, like that stuff. Like, that's what a roster is, right?
I think so.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Like, don't do that in general, and especially not if you have a boyfriend.
Definitely not. Or a husband. Definitely if you don't have a husband.
If you have a husband, like, that husband, oh my god, there's gonna be some drama within the relationship.
Somebody's catching a body. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Speaking of which, okay, how do you feel on hangouts one-on-one with the opposite gender while in a relationship?
Honestly, like, I don't really think that's normal, I would say, unless it's like, this right now is different because we're doing it for something. But if it's like, oh, I just want to go and get boba with you, it's like, why do you need to go get boba with another man when you can get it with your boyfriend? And if your boyfriend's busy or something, get it by yourself then.
Okay.
You think the opposite?
No, I feel like we've gotten food before. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay, yeah, but like,
do you feel like it depends on the person? Because, like, my energy is different.
It's not like it's not really like I'm scheduling it out to get food with you.
Okay.
Besides that one time to get nudes,
Uh,
because it was like your first time getting it, and that was like your first time meeting each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
Not
yeah.
like meeting each other, but like
Yeah.
like a casual like get to know you.
Yeah.
But then like the other times we've ate together, there was someone there, or I just saw you in the dining hall.
We
And I
just
was like,
randomly
why
ran
not?
into each other.
Yeah. So like
Yeah.
that's completely different.
Yeah.
I feel like.
No. I think that it is different. I just had to bring it up.
Yeah, because it's not like I'm taking time to plan out something with a guy, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. And at the same time, like, we know each other and we know, like, how we feel about certain things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, what do you think?
It's so funny because like I understand, especially coming from like a Christian perspective or in the church, a lot of people are like, heck no, we're never hanging out one on one. It's so disrespectful, this, that, and the other. But I actually like the most godly people I know, I introduced them and they got married, blind date, they got married 9 months later. But the girl and I, we were friends before, we hung out one on one during their relationship, and we have hung out one on one since they've been married, and it hasn't caused any problems. And the husband knew about it, the guy knew about it the whole time. Um, so like I think it just depends. Like there's certain guys where I'm like, okay, yeah, I wouldn't care if I was with this girl. I wouldn't care if this girl's like hanging out with this guy one on one.
Yeah. If there was a partner in a relationship and they knew about the friend of the opposite gender, so let's say like my man or something knows that I'm friends with James and has met James already, I think that's completely normal. Like, if not, my boyfriend or something would tell me like, okay, James is not a good guy. He actually is, but like James is not a good guy. Don't hang out with him. Or yeah, James is totally fine. He's totally chill. Like I vibe with him. That's a completely different story. But if there's any guy in a relationship that you personally have and you don't tell your man, honey bun, that's a red flag. Like you need to tell this. You need to tell your man, like, oh, this guy keeps trying to talk to me and try to hang out with me. Or you can be like, oh, I met this cool guy and he's like this, or this. You know what I mean? You agree, right?
Yeah, I agree. Like I think it's more just about open communication. Because there's certain guys that I'm like, bro, I'm not worried. This guy is not a threat. This guy ain't trying to get with nobody.
Yeah, exactly.
Like he's just a nice person and he's cool. And it's like, oh, maybe they're already friends. Like, and I know he's not interested and he's not going to be interested. He's like one of the 1% or 0.1% of guys that's like not actually going to try to get with them. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
And so, I think it's all just about communication and trust. And ultimately, it's like being on the same page. If the person I'm pursuing marriage doesn't want me to be like hang out with this person one on one, or I don't want them to be hanging out with this person one on one, there should be a respect there to want to like distance for the sake of our relationship.
Yeah, exactly. It would just like without a doubt, like I'll just drop that guy. Like it's not that serious.
Yeah, exactly. And but that also gets to the point where it's like, man, like some people in their relationships, like their partner wants them to completely isolate from all their friends.
Yeah.
Or like no friends of the opposite gender, like at all. What do you think about that?
I think that's a little extreme. I think that we all need to calm down. Like, people call me naive for it and dumb for it, but I have like a very good like faith in humanity, I would say.
I have none.
Yeah, I believe in people, like genuinely, and people are like, oh my god, you're gonna get hurt or whatever. But like, I think that it's not that serious. Like when you meet a good person, you can tell, and when you don't, you can also tell. So I wouldn't believe in like cutting absolute no contact with the opposite gender besides your partner. Like that's very hard to do, and it's just like unrealistic. You know what I mean? There's gonna be a bunch of connections that lead to another gender that you're gonna have to talk to. Like, oh my god, what does he want me to do? Like, not talk to the bus driver that's a man?
Well, that's like a professional contact, and you're not having a relationship, right? You're not hanging out,
Yeah. Okay, I guess.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a.
What do you think? Do you think that's too much, or do you think that's valid?
I think, I don't know, like No, I think you can have friends of the opposite gender. I think it's actually kind of weird if you don't have friends of the opposite. It's not weird, but it's most people do. You know,
It's most people do, and it's also like we need to get rid of that like bad intention that someone might have. You know what I mean? Like it's not always these bad things that people are thinking about. I mean, that's what I think.
I mean, I think the majority of time, like guys are just trying to get with a girl, but they're just cowards or they're waiting for the right opportunity.
Okay,
But that's not everybody.
I guess I'm just like too like blank space in the mind to like, okay, this guy is like chill. I don't know. I don't
I
know. I
think
don't know.
that if you texted all of your guy friends right now and said, "Hey, I want you. What are you doing tonight?" that 90% of them would be like, "Oh, hey, I'm free. Yeah, let's do something."
Last one.
Okay.
Okay, does body count matter?
Does it?
It does.
Oh, really?
It definitely
Tell
does.
me about that, because I was not expecting you to say that.
Why?
Okay, no, like
It
tell me
definitely does.
why does body count matter?
I mean, like, I don't want someone who's been run through, and I don't want, like, my partner's definitely not going to want someone who's been run through. Like, be so for real. Like, everybody's going to know how you looked like in a certain way doing certain things. No one wants that. I mean, like, if they're the perfect girl or perfect guy and they've done like a bad thing or two bad things, like, I would forgive it. But at the end of the day, it matters. I don't want anybody to be seeing my man in a different, like, in that light.
Hmm. Interesting. So what is too high of a body count? Like is one too high?
No, one is fine. For me, I would say I would say three.
3 is too high. Why
Anything more than three.
okay, why at three bodies is that too high?
Because for me, I'm hoping to get married like 20s to 30s. And if you've dated more, if you've like done the deed with more than three girls, and I'm hoping and assuming you at least dated them and you love them from your heart. If you've done more than three girls, that's a little much, sweetheart. By the time we're 20s to 30s, that's a little much. Don't you think? Because I'm hoping that your relationship at least lasted a year or two. So let that year or two go by. Like let's say I'm 19 right now, okay? Okay, let's say I'm 20 right now, okay? And then 2 years go by, so like I'm 22 and I've done a deed with the guy. And then like I need a year or 2 years, another 2 years to recover. You know what I mean? Like after the relationship. So I'm 24 and then that cycle repeats to 28 and then 30. So three guys max. I mean, three girls max. Doesn't that make sense? Doesn't that logically check out? I don't know. I'm Chinese. I'm like literally mathing the body count right now and the years.
That's wild. No, I mean it's just interesting to hear your perspective on body count. That it matters, or yeah, and why it matters. For me, I don't think body count matters actually. Um, and that's funny because I have zero bodies. I have zero kisses.
Wait, are we talking about like when we do the deed with someone or when we kill someone?
The deed.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Okay, continue.
Anyways, but yeah, I think it's for me it's lifestyle, right? But it just depends.
What do you mean for you? It's lifestyle.
Well, obviously, I'm a Christian, so my perspective is I'm not going to be with anybody. I'm not even going to kiss anybody until marriage.
Yeah.
So like I think like honestly like kissing, making out outside of marriage is inappropriate. So
Yeah.
ideally, I want somebody who never even kissed somebody, but
Yeah.
that's not realistic. Like I fully expect whoever I'm with to have like slept with people before or kissed people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay.
To me, like kissing and like having sex is like pretty much the same thing. It's like almost on the same level.
Yeah.
Um, and so for me, I'm not going to do those things until I get married. But it's like I don't have that expectation of the other person having, like, people make mistakes or people are different people. I believe people can fundamentally change, and especially as a Christian, I believe when somebody actually comes to know God and follow God, right? They're forgiven, they become a new person.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think if somebody claims to be a Christian and they're like, oh, they have this many bodies, okay, that's a red flag, because it's like, okay, did you really understand? Are you really following God? Like, what's your idea of God, right? But if like they have their past life, I'm not going to judge somebody on their past life. And I think ultimately it's already hard enough to find a partner. And so I think if this person genuinely loves God and I'm attracted to them and we get along with each other and can understand each other, mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, then I don't really have any other like standards, you know?
I think that's pretty valid. But for me, like I couldn't just wrap my head around it unless they had like 100 million other traits that would push me past that. You know what I mean?
But when you're in love with somebody or you really want to marry somebody, you're not thinking about every single trait. You're just thinking about them. Like, who are they as a person, you know? So I don't, regardless if somebody had 0 bodies, 10 bodies, 100 bodies, like I don't think it matters as long as they're like repentant and they're not in that lifestyle anymore,
Mm-hmm.
and they like, have went to God for forgiveness and they like hate that now, it's
Okay,
like,
yeah, that's completely valid. Maybe they've changed, maybe they've grown and they're actually sorry, but how do you know that they've actually changed? Like how do you if their body count is like so high, how do you know that you're just not going to be another one?
well,
And let's say you're not like going to marry this person. Like let's say like you don't know if you're going to marry this person yet since you only do for marriage.
if I don't know if I'm going to marry this person or not, then obviously I'm not going to be a count in the body. Like, I'm not going to be another body for this person. Well, you got to get to know somebody, right? For me, it's like, are they actively involved in church? Like, what does their life look like? What's the fruit of their life? Like, are they pursuing God? Like, what do their relationships look like? And then having other people who are like older and wiser look into our relationship, get to know them as well. I have a lot of female friends, and they're all like, yeah, I need to get to know whoever this girl is. So that's one benefit of having a lot of female friends. I can introduce whoever I'm talking to them,
Mm-hmm.
and they'll probably have a better radar than me on the girls. Like, I have a really great radar for guys. Like, I can tell a guy instantly within like a couple minutes, if not a couple seconds of meeting them, if they're
Mm-hmm.
good or not. So yeah, I think just wisdom from other people and just talking to them and seeing where their heart's at, looking at
Yeah.
what their actions in their life.
Yeah, I think that's valid. Yeah. Okay, cool. Is there
So
anything else that you want to add, or we're going to wrap up right here?
no, Nausicaa's freaking goated. Follow
James
now.
is goaded. You guys have to follow him, and hopefully, we do a podcast together on his channel.
Yeah, we'll do something. Might get back into the content
Do you
again.
want to shout out your channel name or any social media?
Or you can follow me at James as a Christian.
Okay, yeah, period.
Period.
So, yeah, well, that was a wrap for today, episode 1. I really appreciate you guys tuning in. I greatly appreciate James for being on this first episode with me, and we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.